I've got some video to play for you today that is nothing short of tragic. Donald Trump had this unhinged MAGA rally in Ohio last week. It was riddled with lies, attacks on political opponents, smears, blaming everybody else for failures, taking credit for successes that don't even have anything to do with him. And that was the rally itself. But I found a video posted on Twitter yesterday of an 8-year-old being interviewed, a Trumpist 8-year-old being interviewed, which reminded me of a horrible video I once saw of a brainwashed Argentinian kid talking politics. Although this kid at the Trump rally was far less articulate than that Argentinian one. Anyway, I'm looking for information about the guy who's doing the interview, who seems to be some kind of Christian pastor. You'll see him go into prayer. He at one point puts his hand on the kid's head to pray for him. So let's look at the first part of the clip. My question to you is this child abuse? Are the circumstances that got this kid to this mental state, by the parents that is that child abuse? Because an 8-year-old doesn't become like this on their own. And again, you'll notice if you're watching that the moment the kid says something about Trump being great or whatever, the pastor puts his hand on the kid's head and starts praying. This is full indoctrination on a political front, on a religious front. This is crazy. Take a look.
Right over here. I'm going to get out of the way of the folks coming up here. What's your name?
Bo Gray.
Say that again.
Bo Gray.
Bo Gray. What are you doing out here?
Me and my mom and Nene and Papa are sitting here because we're about to see the most greatest president in the whole wide world, Donald Trump.
Oh, you just reminded me of my daughter when you said that. Your Nene and Papa. God bless you. Lord, I just pray a special blessing. Tell me, Bo. Is it Bo?
Yes.
I pray a special blessing on Bo, Lord. I pray that you would bless and keep him. You'd make your face to shine upon him. Be gracious unto him. Raise him up, Lord, into the warrior that you have him to be. Let this light shine out of this young man. Lord, I pray in any of the darkness that wants to come, Lord, that your light would just shine through it. Man, I'm glad to meet you, Bo, and I'm glad that your papa and is it Nana?
Nene.
Nene, your papa and your Nene brought you out here. How old are you?
I'm 8 years old. I'm 8 years old. I go to school in Baldwin Elementary.
Now, this isn't about this kid. I want to be clear. This kid is a victim. The kid doesn't see himself as a victim. The parents don't see him as a victim. This Christian pastor dude who puts his hand on the kid's head, clearly they don't see the kid as a victim. But what happens when this kid enters the real world? What happens if this kid goes to college, if that's something that's in the kid's future? This kid's parents are the ones who likely say college is just liberal indoctrination, because look at who they're raising, who will eventually maybe arrive at college and be completely unprepared for how the real world actually works. There's more video. Let's watch a little bit more.
That is so cool. And did you get out of school today to come see the president?
Yes.
Is this your first time?
My mom checked me out to get Papa and Nene.
Is this your mom? Oh, that's so cool. So your mom checked you out of school. That didn't hurt your feelings, though, did it?
No, that didn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you were pretty excited.
Everybody's here to see Donald Trump. The stage is ready. Everybody's ready in their seats. They have snacks and they're ready for the greatest moment of a lifetime.
Is this your first time to see him?
Yes.
How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm so excited. I've seen Donald Trump on TV once when he became the first president in the United States of America.
So when he comes out on that stage, are you just going to be going crazy?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Anything else you want to say? Do you play football? I see the football shirt.
I really don't play football, but maybe when I grow up, I will play football.
Awesome. Hey, it's such an honor to meet you, young man. And shout out to your mom. God bless you. All right, let's screenshot this. Hang on.
There's even a little bit more, but let's stop it there. Notice that the kid said when Donald Trump became the first president, might have misspoken. Also, what might have his parents been telling him to come up with that idea? This seems like a news report characterized in like a dystopian alternate universe science fiction movie where everything has gone wrong, right? This is like, in a time travel film where someone came back and did something that modified a future universe and things went completely off the rails. This is how it would be depicted. Remember that the American right says that they're worried about the left indoctrinating children. look at this video. And as I mentioned, this reminded me of an Argentinian kid named Casey Wonder, who's way more articulate than this kid, but just as indoctrinated without really having a clue. I'm not going to play it for you because of copyright issues with Argentinian news stations. But if you go on YouTube and you just type in Casey Wonder, you'll find an interview with this kid, and the subtitles, I think, will maybe translated subtitles will help you figure out what's going on. We wonder why we're falling behind in math and science. And then we see that this kid, instead of being in school, is at a Trump rally with his sycophant parents being celebrated by the people around him, including being prayed for by another irrational Trump supporter, all of whom believe that Donald Trump is a pseudo deity of some kind. And I know that many of our instincts when we see this, our instincts are just disgust. Oh, this is disgusting. But this connects to really serious things that have happened in the Midwest and in other regions of the country that got us to where we are today, because this is not merely cultural. This is not merely about intelligence. This is not merely about religion. It's very easy for, people in liberal parts of the country to see this and to just laugh and to say, we're superior. Look at this backward stuff. This is the end result of a combination of growing inequality as the rich get more and more rich and the poor get less and less, alongside the convenient demonization of what is essentially modernity under the guise of they want to indoctrinate you in college and in those liberal cities like New York and Boston. And what's interesting is that similar economic circumstances in northeastern blue states have generated progressive activists around issues like education and other issues. In the Midwest and in other areas, those same economic problems, although those problems exist to a greater degree in red states, as we've talked about, have produced people who have gone into this hyper-religious conservative shell. They've become voters along the issues of abortion and religion and guns. And it's very easy for us and it's very tempting for us to watch this and pass judgment on it. But that's part of why we lost in 2016, and we will lose again in 2020 if we just write this stuff off, okay? Even if we are logically correct when we say children raised in an open-minded Massachusetts family will be better off in the real world than this kid. That may well be true, but it ignores the reality of how things got this way and what it will take to change them. And that is the really important thing we can't forget going into 2020. By the way, if this video is a parody and I'm just missing it, please tell me. I'd be relieved to hear that this video is merely a parody. If you have information about who that dude is praying over this kid, touching his head, I do want to know, because it reeks of all of the worst of what we are fighting against. But again, if we just pass judgment on it, that's not going to help us win. I want to tell you about a really great YouTube channel we're partnering with. It's called Upflip TV, and they've just recently launched. They have some excellent content for anybody interested in business and entrepreneurship. Check them out at davidpakman.com/flip. That's FLIP. That'll redirect you to their YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe while you're there. It is a YouTube channel that I'd recommend to anyone in the David Pakman Show audience who owns a business, runs a business, is thinking about starting a business, or even if you just like learning new things about how business works. They interview successful entrepreneurs, business owners, giving them a place to tell their stories and share strategies so viewers can benefit from their insight and apply their wisdom to your own businesses. All of the content is about educating and inspiring people. In each video, Upflip TV showcases a different type of startup. It could be a coffee shop or a landscaping business or a real estate agency. You'll see how the business was often started from scratch, what a workday looks like, how to become and remain successful in that business. And they don't just interview people, they actually examine each business from inside out in a really unique way that distills the valuable lessons that you can take from their stories. I find the content fascinating. They're friends of the David Pakman Show. I would love it if you would go and support their new YouTube channel and what they're doing. I think you'll very quickly become a fan. Like I said, get there by going to davidpakman.com/flip. That's FLIP. And make sure to subscribe to their channel when you're there.